Eden Hazard's been real quiet on Real Madrid this season, but I promise you, once this next season starts up and he's playing the full season at full health, caught up to the speed of La Liga, I promise you it's over. Real Madrid's gonna start scoring. They're gonna start scoring goals again, and they won the La Liga to show for it. So I mean, that's what I have to say. As of right now, it is July 16th, 2020 out here in this quarantine. My name is James Sims. And today I'm doing an elite profile on Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard is a wing coming out of coming out of Belgium. That's right. I'm sorry. He came up from the Lille system, came from the youth system. But yeah, he's a 5'9" left wing kind of attacking midfielder, and he's basically been playing that playmaker, lead scorer, but also he can serve it up, assist role. For Chelsea, he's played it for the Belgian national team, and he's definitely he's playing it for Real Madrid this year. I'm telling you, once you get it all together, I guarantee you look back at Eden Hazard and see that I think that Real Madrid's going to get what they paid their money for. So just to start off, like I said, Eden Hazard came up in Belgium. He eventually came up to the Lille system, played 5 years in the Ligue 1. Of course, like playing for the Lille team, making a name for himself to the point where he was signed by Chelsea for 35 mil to go play out there, and immediately he went out to Chelsea and started really performing. And he was a 21-year-old starter at Chelsea that was putting in the minutes, that he was putting in the production. And in his first season at Chelsea, they finished third in the Premier League, and they ended up winning the European League, or the Europa League. That's what they call it. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. But Eden Hazard for the season would have finished with 12 goals and 14 assists on the season. By the way, he was 21 when he was signed to Chelsea. But he keeps on getting better. His age 22 season in 2013-14, he ended up with 17 goals and 9 assists in 54 games played, as Chelsea finished yet again top third in the Premier League. They finished runner-up in the UEFA Super Cup, but that's what they were doing. They were putting it on. Eden Hazard actually led Chelsea in scoring that year. He led them with 17 goals in the Premier League for the season, for the full year. And in 2014-15, in his age 23 season, he finished the season with 20 goals and 11 assists on the season, as Chelsea as they won the Premier League, and they ended up winning the Football League Cup final. They won the domestic treble that year. Diego Costa was the leading scorer that year, but Eden Hazard had 20 goals and he had 11 assists to come right in. So Eden Hazard definitely had a big part to play, and he did win the Premier League as one of the main go-to playmakers on this Chelsea team when he was there, of course, naturally, with N'Golo Kante as well, because I gave him some love on a package I did a little bit earlier. But that's how I'm doing it. His next season, he would go on to finish with 15 goals, 12 assists, and 64 total games played, including all the international cups and everything. Chelsea that season would finish 10th in the Premier League. They finished in the round of 16 in Champions League. That was not their best season. N'Golo Kante was not there when he was on the Premier League. So check that, what I said. Erase what I said. I fact checked myself within my own piece. But next year they got N'Golo Kante, and then in the 44 games they played, Hazard ended up scoring 18 goals, 17 assists, and Chelsea ended up winning the Premier League for the second time in 3 years. Diego Costa was the leading scorer for the third year in a row. They finished runner-ups in the FA Cup final. And no, they finished with 93 points, which is more than their 87 they won the last time. So this is their winningest season that was Eden Hazard's winningest season at Chelsea. By the time he was already 27, he already won the Premier League twice, and he had nothing left to really prove in the Premier League. At this point, he had really nothing left to prove in the Premier League. But he decided to stay with Chelsea for the next couple of years. In 2017-18, he finished with 22 goals and 17 assists on the season. in the 65 games that he played. And of course, they finished fifth in the Champions. They finished fifth in the Premier League that year. They won the FA Cup final, and Eden Hazard did lead the team in scoring. He finished, like I said, with 17 goals he finished with 17 goals in the season in European play. And in 2018-19, Eden Hazard would go on to score 22 goals and 17 assists yet again in 59 games. But of course, it was getting consistent. Like, he was consistently scoring 20 goals in a season and getting at least 10, 12 assists. Like, that's a lot of assists that he's getting. That year, they finished third in the Premier League. And, of course, they won the Europa League final, and Eden Hazard was the leading scorer with 21 goals. And this has been since N'Golo Kante's been back. So, the summer afterwards, Eden Hazard decides he wants to move to La Liga. He decides to sign with Real Madrid, which is, of course, smart. And with players that are as good as Hazard, that are as old as he is, dealing with the injury that he is, some people have to understand that, playing in different, I don't know, like, I didn't play, so I have no reason to think that. I would imagine playing in a completely different league with completely other different players where you don't know their tendencies. I think it's a bit of a learning curve, but once you get past it, you get it, you understand it, and you know how to carve out a defense. I think you give Eden Hazard a full year to fully see a defensive scheme. He'll be ready for them next year in La Liga, and he's going to tear up the defenses. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had another 20-goal, 15-assist season this year for Real Madrid, as Real Madrid is definitely pumping it up. I think he's going to bring the fire this year. He's 29. He has, if you're going to ask me if he's going to be really, really good this year, I'm telling you I think he is. Add on to the fact that, he carries with him the two Premier League titles. And, he carries the Royal Cup that they just won in Spain for Real Madrid this year. And right now, Real Madrid is winning. As of July 16th, 2020, Real Madrid, with 37 wins, officially has secured La Liga. So he has now officially won the Premier League twice, and he's won La Liga. And he was a big player of the team this year. He played in 28 of the game. He played in 15 of the La Liga matches this season. He played in 28 games total. He has 11 assists. He has 7 assists in the UEFA Euro qualifiers for Belgium. So, that's just the type of player that he is. And even on Belgium, he's a completely different beast. And his numbers are really, really insane. And he performed incredibly well at the World Cup. The real question is, can we see the Eden Hazard that we see in Belgium? Can we see that Eden Hazard play in La Liga? And the only answer to the question I have for that is, we have to wait and see. I think he takes a year. I think next year he'll be back in the rhythm and he'll understand every single La Liga defense. He'll be able to carve it up easily like cake. But I think you give him this year, and they won La Liga this year. He did what was needed to be done. Even with 1 goal and 3 assists in 15 games, he'll get it together. I think we're talking about Eden Hazard from Belgium. No, seeing what he's done with Chelsea, no, that dude's not just gonna flop and fold over. That dude's gonna have a real impact in La Liga, and I think that the 100 million euros they paid for him last summer, they're gonna end up. I think they're gonna end up enjoying the investment that they made on this player, Eden Hazard. But I really appreciate you for getting the chance to listen to all 8-9 minutes of what I'm saying. I don't know much about these soccer players. I've only been watching it for about 2-3 years. I only know the more recent storylines better than the others. But if you get a chance to watch my boy Eden Hazard, he's currently wearing number 7 for Real Madrid, the first player they've let wear 7 since Cristiano Ronaldo left. He's definitely a playmaker. He's earned that 7 number. He's not Ronaldo, but he still earned the number 7 spot at Real Madrid. And I'm curious to see what the future has in store for him. Let's see. I'm willing to see if he's ready to bounce back. But if you get a chance, watch him at Real Madrid, watch him at Belgium. Look at him and see, is this dude, even if he didn't score goals or any assists, how much did he affect the game? With that, peace out.